we have Senator Murkowski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chief, good to see you again. You were in front of the Interior Appropriations Subcommittee just about a month ago. You made a comment then that resonated with me. You said, I can tell you with certainty that if we do not have a vibrant timber industry, we're not going to be able to manage our forests and make them healthy and resilient. Good statement, but it just seems contradictory to the way that the Tongass and the Chugach National Forests are managed. The Forest Service has completely shifted away from offering viable inventories of timber, and in the case of the Tongass, they really have just pulled the rug out from under the industry. You and I have talked about this a lot, but they abandoned the transition policy that, that Secretary Vilsack forced on them during the Obama administration. So we have a timber industry that is practically non-existent right now. And it kind of speaks to your statement about it's impossible to have a healthy and resilient forest without a vibrant timber industry. Well, we don't have a vibrant timber industry. So can you share with me, other than research into end-use forest products, what is the Forest Service doing to help support the few remaining small mill operators that are located in the Tongass?
So, Senator Murkowski, you know better than anyone just the history of timber there.
I know it all too well. I've lived it.
And I still stand by my statement that without a vibrant timber industry, we will not be able to manage our nation's
So what
forests.
what do I tell our small mill operators there in Southeast? Is there a future for them, or do they need to just pack up, let their employees go elsewhere?
Well, I certainly think there's a future there. I think what we need to do is work on how much of that is available to be harvested. And I'm still committed.
Well, it's the largest national forest in the country.
Yes.
There's plenty of available timber. It's the supply, as you well know, and the sales that are put up that don't result in anything for even the smallest of the small timber sawmills.
And you know, Senator, we're guided by a lot of policies and regulations, and so...
And the policies and regulations are such that the Tongass has been shut down effectively for timber harvesting. I mean, that's pretty much it. Let me shift to the Southeast Alaska Sustainable Strategy, because that was Vilsack's promise. We're going to cut off timber, we're going to not be harvesting, or certainly not putting up available sales for timber there, but we're going to give you resources from the federal government. $25 million was the first tranche. And I had asked you last month about the funding that Secretary Vilsack had promised. He said, again, the $25 million is the first tranche. I asked for an update on additional funding. You shared with me the same thing that Secretary Vilsack did, that, well, Southeast has gotten funding through IJA and through IRA. That is true. But as I reminded everybody, this promise on the Southeast Sustainable Strategy was well before we had even thought about IJA or IRA. And so, in fairness, that does not count. That is not keeping the promise of Secretary Vilsack. So you indicated that you were going to double check on the status of where we are, what Southeast might be able to expect, because right now I've got these small local mills that are thinking, well, okay, maybe that's part of our survivability strategy, is that we're going to be getting some kind of support from these additional sources of funding from the Southeast Sustainable Strategy.
Yeah, Senator, you are right. We had the $25 million originally, and since then we've provided an additional $50 million. But I'll look to see how much of that is IJA and how much of that is other funding. But I know that it was 50 additional million.
I bet I can beat you to the breakdown on that, unfortunately. One quick question here before my time is out. You know that just last week we introduced the Chugach Alaska Land Exchange Oil Spill Recovery Act. This grants Chugach ownership of approximately 65,000 acres of culturally significant, economically viable full estate and surface lands. This completes the promise under the Dingell Act. This is the result of several years of groundwork by the entire Alaska delegation and working with the Department of Interior and Forest Service. I know you've worked on that, but I'm hoping that I can get your commitment that Forest Service is going to work proactively with our office so that we can advance this legislation and address this split state ownership challenge.
Yes. We're committed to continuing to work with you on that.
Okay, we want to get it done sooner than later. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.